Some of the missed opportunities in the budget that I saw were the 24-hour economy. You know, I say it's a missed opportunity because looking at how significant it was in their campaign, look at the way Trump is behaving. The first day he was sworn in, he signed close to 50 executive orders. The guy used the time in opposition to draw his plan. My brother, 4 years, you don't have time. You don't have time. Look, really, you don't have 4 years. You have like 3 years.
Yeah.
So the things you want to do, if you go and do consultation economy, I don't blame you, fine. But, Charlie, your things must be drawn. This 24 economy thing, it was the heart of your campaign. The biggest problem for this country, when JM was coming first time as president in 2012, is still the biggest problem when Akufo-Addo was coming. It's still the biggest problem today, which is youth unemployment. So, you don't have the time. Some good plan, this 24. And the last time I sat here and explained that when someone says they want to do a 24 economy, I'm not one of those who will say that, oh, it cannot be done. But it is not child's play. It is serious thinking and investment. You have to choose one or two sectors and say you want to revolutionize that sector. Tomato, I said Ghana is apparently the biggest consumer of tomato paste in the whole world. Paste, number one, is a multi-billion-dollar industry. How do you close that gap? Import substitution. You need to first thing get scientists. If you check the history of South Korea, all the nations that transformed, bro, it is serious grain, nitty-gritty work.
Yeah.
You want to go in tomato production, first thing, how are your seeds produced? What kind of seeds do you have? You can pick seeds from Ukraine. It might not suit here. You might get scientists to do inbreeding. It will take some time to have the perfect seed. Then when you have the perfect seed, how many, extension officers do you have? You invest in training, escalate their numbers. Where are you going to plant the tomatoes? You have a serious program where thousands of acres can be gotten with some executive orders without much obstruction. You get the production going on. What is road network from the farm to the center? If you want to export to the airport. Serious stuff. And that is where you can have things running around 24/7. So, because these things require a lot of work, I was expecting that at least some 1 or 2 areas would have been targeted, some investments would have been mentioned that they will go there and all that. Another missed opportunity, and by the way, I know Gusitano and the rest are working on.
Yeah.
We don't have much time. They must hurry up.
Apparently, 2 days ago, he was even in Parliament.
Yes.
During the post-budget workshop.
So I'm sure I will
To
talk
educate
about
you on
it.
what the, you know. But why was it missing in the budget? When we come
But
to
they say it will come later.
Yes,
But my
yes,
point is that we don't have too much time.
Right.
Because when you even start to lay out the policy, you must first do sensitization.
Yeah.
Then you move to the next step of trying to get the actors to training. It takes even time from policy declaration to impact and implementation impact. One other missed one is the exemption policy.
Okay.
You see, bro, because of politics, sometimes we say things that place, like Kwekubaku will say, on the emotional keyboards of people. Oh, Ghana, we don't have money, and yet they're giving tax clearance exemption of $500 million. Can you imagine what that $500 million can do? Stop this tax exemption. No, when you go and check, in the real sector, those who are giving jobs to our youth, the industries. I know one guy, a friend, an Indian. He has a company that produces plastics. If you go to his factory, you see Ghanaians working. This is the real world, though. They've come to work in the morning. The guy has built another factory. He went to source loan from Germany. Millions of dollars. Bought equipment to start another one next, more or less an expansion. Once he does that, he's going to employ times 2 of what he has now. Guess what? The machines have been at the port for the past whatever number of years. He went for the loan because of the one district, one factory policy, where if you show documentation and registered, you get exemption of duties on your machine. He has to pay millions of dollars on the machine. And because he didn't factor that into the business plan, his machines are stuck at the port.
Why was it stuck at the port?
Because he wanted to take advantage of the one district, one factory program, where if they come and inspect and it's a Ghana factory and all that, whether it's an expansion new one, if the machines you brought in should have incurred a tax of, let's say, $1 million, your is waived.
It's waived, yes.
Those are the exemptions that came to Parliament.
Yes.
And then because generally the word is exemption, people playing on people's sentiments say that, they are charging us taxes. they say the system is hard, but they are exempting people from paying taxes.
But why did he put the cart before the horse?
No, but it was a government policy then.
Yes.
So the policy came into place before he went for the loan.
Okay.
So really,
yes.
had it not been for the numbers, you know,
Yes.
Parliament, when the 8th Parliament, the numbers were tight.
Yes.
So that's why, like I said, and
Okay.
forgive me, but when people are in opposition,
Yes.
sometimes you can put in some messaging and stuff when in reality it is not so.
Yes.
But you do it for perception, sometimes you can get a result. The result is that people come on your side. When in the real life, when I say the real life, when you go down there,
Okay.
in terms of what is needed, that thing is really important. So if you remember, they mentioned some 1 or 2 companies that they said were associated with President Kufuor, some is in law, they said some hotel, something hotel, but they also wanted exemption.
Yes.
This is my case. If you think there
So
are,
per his calculation,
yes.
by the time Parliament would finally pass the law,
No, the law was actually passed.
No, okay, so
sorry, the policy.
the policy.
The one
As for the
issue
policy wasn't there, but
Yes.
but Parliament. You remember, Afenimaki has been on this exemption thing.
Forgive
That's
me,
also different.
Forgive me, it's not actually law by our a democratic arrangement.
Yes.
If government wants to give an exemption,
Yes.
the exemption must be brought to Parliament
Yes.
for Parliament to allow
Yes.
it. So because the numbers were tight for us,
Yes.
they started. I'll not say noise, but they started making a case that we need money, so we're not going to give exemptions.
Yes.
So when those exemptions were forwarded to Parliament, I think by the Trade Minister,
Yes.
they didn't treat it well at the Finance Committee.
Okay.
And more or less it hanged.
Yes.
That's the point I'm making.
Yes.
But
Is that the same that Afenimaki has been on? He's been consistently talking about this
I think
tax
it's that
exemption
one.
thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And you know, in the past,
Yes.
Rawlings, or almost all governments
Yes.
have given tax exemptions to critical factories and areas
True.
so that they can set up.
True.
But my point is that because the impression was created that, apart from the genuine ones, in quotes, there are a few that have been smuggled in.
Okay.
They don't deserve tax exemption. It's because they are close to the former president's family and all kinds of things. This is my issue. My issue is that I know at least one, and there are many, who is in the real sector. When you go to his factory now, if I drive you now, you will see Ghanaians who are working to get something to feed their families. This man has the opportunity to create ×2 of the number. And by the way, sometimes you can be caught in the euphoria of winning power. President Mahama and all NDC people, this free advice to them. Don't think you are loved so much, that's why you want power by a huge margin. People in the real world, life is not easy stuff. If the years pass and there's not change in their lives, you'll be shocked. The same people who brought Mahama in, they sent him out 2016. Some of them are around. So I would like to plead, these are opportunities we should not miss again. Sometimes the politics must come down. These tax exemptions, I'll beg the new government, they should quickly go and look at the list. If they like, they should send people to the factories. For every factory, look at B5 or something, that iron rod factory.
Yes.
The fear I have is that some of them, our neighbors are giving them this offers. The Ivory Coast, Benin, go and check. So some factories, when they come and they realize that government is not managing them, quickly, by the time you realize, they've opened a branch in the Ivory Coast. And then their youth are getting opportunities. So beyond the politics of, I left the primary balance of this, what about your inflation, your gross international reserve is 3 months, but you were not paying, all this. The question we have to ask ourselves, after 3-4 years, the guy who went to shout, Tepre, Mama, how is his life compared to when he was singing to that 2-3 years down the line? Okay. If you miss that opportunity, it can be tough for you.
All right, so let's quickly do this. So your very good friend, Prince Derek J. For some reason, he hasn't sent a text in a while, but you've been able to get him to send a text. So he says, regards to my brother Okoe, who, by the way, is looking more handsome in opposition.
Yes.
That's what he says.
It's grace.
Okay.
It's not the government. It's grace.
I'm getting many calls about the absence of his signature. Bow tie. Oh, okay.
In opposition, the temperature, you feel hotter.
Oh, you know, actually you observe it.
In opposition, you feel
the
hot.
kitchen is hotter.
The thought of being in opposition itself generates heat.
2 months.
Yeah,
so no bow tie. So power comes.
Yes.
Okay.